one that most of you have heard before, and who I'm beginning to know better and think of as a friend. The last time he was here, I was sitting in the front row, like today, and I looked at him and I said, "There's lots of layers to you, aren't there?" And he goes, it was like, "She got me." I was like, "Yes." So let me read you some of the layers. Reverend Raymont Anderson's mission is to live more, and be an active member of society who serves to educate, elucidate, emancipate, awaken, and empower people and communities. The active, ACTIVE, stands for authentic, compassionate, transparent, inspired, vibrant, and empowered. So, Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson, Imagineer, professional educator, workshop and seminar facilitator, visual artist, performer. You'll get to be seeing that later. Just know that to be true. ASL interpreter, author, and lover of comics and film. He's been ordained 6 times. I should have asked him about that because I'm curious how that happened. But that's fantastic. Most recently, as an ordained Centers for Spiritual Living minister. He serves as the founding minister and spiritual director of the Center for Spiritually Integrated Arts, a center for spiritual living teaching center. And if you want to know more about that, he can share that with you. So we welcome with our hearts full, and knowing we're going to get experience some enthusiasm. Yes.
How are we all today? So, let's see. Where do we want to start today? First of all, how's everybody doing? How are you? I mean, like, really, how excellent. But how are you? Wonderful. I mean, like, because if we're going to talk about this thing of faith, we're doing it as an acronym. If we're really going to talk about what it is, then we really have to be in tune with what we feel, what we think, etc. So when I say, how are you? Like, really tap in. How am I? Like, what does that even mean? How am I? How am I doing? How am I feeling? How am I being? Just be present with it for a moment, okay? Any Bible scholars in the room? Anybody familiar with the Bible?
Yes.
Okay, so there's this passage in the Bible that says something about faith is the S word, substance. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Now, listen, when I was a kid, I used to go to like Bible study and stuff because I used to be a Christian, like regular Christian. And my father, he taught me to ask questions. Don't like, just ask questions. So I was that student in school who would always be put in the corner for asking the teacher a question. Well, according to National Geographic, Ray, go sit in the corner. And I was the little Bible study kid that got kicked out of Bible study for asking questions. And one of the questions that I asked had to do with this. What is substance? Faith is the substance. What does that mean? Because we could use the word, we could use it in a whole bunch of ways, right? Like, remember that workshop we went to last week? It didn't have very much substance, did it? We could use it in a whole bunch. When we mix this thing with the cake, what substance is it supposed to? We all kind of ways we could use this word substance. But when we're talking about faith, faith is the substance of things hoped for. Well, I can't do that kind of hope. Because that kind of hope is just wishy-wishy, airy-fairy, cotton candy, and Skittles. That's not doing anything for me. So immediately, hope for me, I turned it into an acronym. I love me some acronyms. Turned hope into an acronym. How our power or how our presence expresses. Faith is the substance. Faith is the tangible stuff that your power, that your presence is expressing, and the evidence of things not yet seen. Have you ever had an idea that was so, like you didn't have the idea had you? Because you couldn't let it go. Like, I have to do this thing. I have to start this business. I have to sing this song. I have to bake this cake. I have to strawberry shortcake, you say. I have to something. And it won't let you go. It's almost like you're possessed by it. Right? Like the passion of it says, make it. You have to sing it. You have to do it. You have to. And it doesn't let you go until there's the evidence. That's what faith is. All of that. So this acronym, faith, forensic awareness. We're going to start with that. Forensic awareness. Well, why forensic? Because in court, they ask for a forensic accountant to speak to the numbers and things, a forensic examiner to speak to the body and things. It means this person is knowledgeable enough to bring forth evidence of their skills that the court accepts their knowledge and the proof. Do we have forensic awareness of who we are, of what this teaching is, of what prayer is, of what meditation is, of what it does for us? And I'm not saying we have to be able to prove it to somebody, because raise your hand if there's somebody that you love. There's nothing you can do to show me that love. You can't reach in somewhere. You can't do it. And when you hug someone, that's not evidence, because there are many abusers that hug their children, their spouses. So a hug in and of itself is not proof. Buying flowers is not proof. So what's the proof? You know. Dogs don't speak in words, but they communicate very clearly. You know when a dog loves you. Right? And one of the things they say is when like if you get a dog that's been abused before, it will not trust you and it's guarded. But you know it has reached that place when it lays down and shows you its belly. That's the dog saying, I love you enough to be vulnerable with you. You feel it. Forensic awareness. Forensic awareness inspires trust. Trust, looking at the etymology of trust is a verb. If there's something that we trust, something that we deeply believe and are convicted of, then it's going to change the way we show up in the world. If I am told by someone, I'm going to meet you at the coffee shop at 3, I trust the words. I trust the person. And that trust shows up by me meeting or going there. And therefore, if I go and she's not there, something must have happened. I need to make some phone calls. Because that's not, I'm now concerned. Versus, do you know, you gotta raise your hand on this one, because it might be somebody sitting next to you. Do you know someone that tells you, yes, I'm gonna do it for you? They don't. I'm gonna meet you. They're not there. I'll be there at 3. They are there at 6. Or whatever that is. They say it, but you can count on it that whatever they said is not going to be what's done. So you don't have trust in whatever that is. But the trust you have is that if they said 3, they mean 3 a.m., not 3 p.m. That's how late they're going to be. They mean 3 a.m., so your trust says, I'm not showing up at the coffee shop at 3 because I know they're not going to be there. Your trust is always showing up. Why do we look both ways before we cross the street, provided we're not here? Because we trust that what we've been taught about, look both ways, because the person in the automobile may not. And I understand how strong you think you are, but that bus and you the bus is going to win. So we trust, and therefore we do certain things. We cook certain ways because we trust that if we let the fire go and we go, do whatever, that latest episode of The Pit is on. I got to go binge watch, but the rice is on. Dr. Rabinovich, what are you doing? And meanwhile, there's a fire in the kitchen. Right? So there are times when we get lost in, but we're invited back to the space of, what do I really trust? How is my trust showing up? And the H at the end is holistically. How is this showing up in every area of my life? Because see, one of the things that we tend to do pretty often, we tend to separate as though our lives are made of Tupperware. We put spiritual practice in this one, because you got a burp. And we put secular stuff in work and whatever, and we put love and romance. I like that. And we put like whatever. We put them in all these various little containers, and they never touch. Or it's like you get the little, I can't think of the brand name, but it's the little plate that's got the little sections, because I don't like my peas to touch the corn. We keep all of these areas separate. But if there's only oneness, that which God is, there is no separation. Doesn't exist. Now, in the relative, yes, there are many chairs and many people and many names. And so for the sake of being in this thing called life, we engage in this relativity. Yes. But in the absolute, there's only one. If I were to ask you, and I may have asked you this before, so if I'm asking you it again, tough. I'm asking you again. How many humanities are there on the planet Earth? There's only one. The human race, one. How many of you are human? Don't raise your hand. If you work for the CIA or Area 54, Roswell, no! But how many of us are human? How many humans are in the room? But there's only one human race, and there's only one thing called humanity. So if we can understand it as it relates to that, then why not understand it as it relates to God? There's only one. And what it is showing up in, through, and as each and everyone, everything, everywhere, all the time. How is the evidence of that showing up? Today's reading, let me see, I don't want to do that one yet. I'm going to go with this Ernest Holmes quote, and then I'll get to the reading. The thought of faith molds the undifferentiated substance and brings into manifestation the thing which was fashioned in the mind. This is how faith brings our desires to pass. Anybody here ever heard of the name Bruce Lee? Yeah. So Bruce Lee said, you pour water into a teacup, it becomes the teacup. You pour it into a vase, it becomes the vase. Be water, my friend. What we pour our mind into takes shape. It's like, I made this analogy yesterday on the New Thought Media Network. There's a show, Saturday, Conversations About the Science of Mind, and I did the conversation, the chapter 11 regarding spiritual and mental treatment. And I said, anybody familiar with or remember silly putty? Because I'm of a certain age. You put the silly putty on the funny papers, is what we call it. And you smush, and then you peel it off, and there I have brought peanuts to silly putty. How are we impressing our consciousness into the law for the law to mirror that very thing back to us? How are we differentiating what it means to live, move, and have our beingness in this thing called life? So today's reading was asking us about this idea of the faith in God or the faith of God. They are very different things. Even the song that Daniel Raymont sang when he said, I want to hear you, I want to feel you, I want to see you. How often do you look in the mirror in the morning, and you don't just see you? You see the divine seeing itself as you. How often do you question your abilities to succeed, to find love, to experience joy? Because when you doubt yourself, what are you doubting? God. You are doubting the divine. You are doubting the whatever name you want to call it. I'm going to call it Snoopy for the present moment. You are doubting, because I pulled from the funny, anyhow. Follow along, people. Whatever you call the divine, the universe, the thing itself, you're doubting it. When you are not sure of your ability to be healthy and well, and there's that thing I want to do because it won't let me go, that poem, that book, that painting, that workshop, that something. But am I smart enough? Am I smart enough? Means, translation, is God smart enough to do this? Am I? I am. Same thing. Many years ago, I may have told you this story, so once again, if I am repeating myself, I'm repeating myself. Many years ago, growing up in Pittsburgh, a lot of my friends were Jewish. One of my friends invites me over to his house. Did I tell you the story before? No. Kurt invites me over to his house. We're chatting. The rabbi shows up. Once the rabbi got over the shock of there's a little brown-skinned child in the house, I just like... Once he got over that, then Kurt said, Rabbi, tell the rabbi what you said about Genesis and blah, blah, blah. So we got into this, because keep in mind, I'm the kid that got kicked out of Bible study. Right? And what this man gave me got me physically removed from church one time. Because he told me about Lilith. I didn't know there was a Lilith. I didn't know there was a woman before Eve till he opened his mouth. I digress. I'll talk about this with my therapist later. We got into this conversation about, Moses goes to the mountain and burning bush and yada, 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 summarized version, Cliff Notes. And Moses is like, cool, I'm getting ready. Oh, wait a minute. You know them because you created them. They're going to ask me, who sent you? Who said it? So I need a name. Like, you got a business card or something? You got something like a QR code? So, because they're going to ask. And we are told, what was the name? I am. I am. Or the full I am that I am. So the rabbi and I had this conversation, and he says, oh, you funny Christians. It's such a short, it's more like, I am that which is all that there is and is ever becoming more of itself.
Beautiful. Yeah. It's so beautiful.
Now, let's go back to, I don't know if I am smart enough. I have poured that into the mold of creation. The law says yes.
Right.
Which then I am now trusting my own inabilities, which now means my actions are going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy that demonstrates I was right all along. I am going to be looking for the evidence to prove it. So when I go on an audition for Broadway, because, that's what no, I'm joking, because Ray don't sing. But my sister will tell you. But you go to an audition on Broadway, and they're like, no. You go to another, no. You go to another, no. See, I told you I don't have the skill. You got a book, and you want to get it published, and you go to there, and they're like, nope. You go there, and then nope, and then there, and then nope, and then there, and then nope. I told you I don't have what it takes to be an author. We look for the evidence of it because it's what we trust. We trust the old idea of God being separate, Because we still sometimes use the language of separation, even within New Thought. We could even say, sorry, Daniel, I don't mean to pick on you. Like even in the song, where did he say God was? In my heart, in my heart. Versus, and I know it's for linguistic convenience and it's for the poetry of it, yes. But sometimes we take it in as God is in versus God is. That's very different. Because if I ask you, is your being human in your heart? Or is it what you are? Is being a woman, a female, just in your heart? Or is it what you are? Being LGBTQ, just in the heart, or what we are? Being any number, no, it's what we are. So if that works that way, why doesn't the divine work that way? All that you are, from the top of your head to the soles of your feet, is the universe incarnating. Period. From the surface of your skin, through the tendons and the molecules, all the way to the quantum particles, it is all a divine expression of God. Or whatever you choose to call it, Snoopy. Whatever you choose to call it, it is still the divine. No part of you is not it. That's why you have the ability to use the creative power. Eric Butterworth said, creation is not something that God did, nor is creation something that God does or is doing. Creation itself is what God is, and that is what you are. That's why we are able to create, because we are creation itself expressing. That's why someone such as what's his name, Oppenheimer, was able to use great genius and great skill and the creative power to create something as destructive as a weapon of mass destruction. As the response to say, this thing will be so terrifying that it will end all wars. In essence, that's like saying, if I hit my child hard enough, they will never be bad again. We know that makes no sense. If I hit you hard enough, you'll never steal again. If I burn you, you'll never lie again. Pain as the response or as the inspiration to heal doesn't work. Love. Now, if Oppenheimer had said, we're going to take a little bit of plutonium, put a little bit of mischief in there, get some of that strawberry shortcake, bring a slice over, put that in there, and get everybody together. We're going to put a whole bunch of love into this thing. Kaboof. We have created a love bomb.
Yeah.
What the world has now is love. Oh, yes, if that's what we're making, excellent. So we are being invited with this thing called faith to say, one, what do I actually believe about myself? Because there is no separation between what God is and what you are. So what you believe about yourself is what you believe about God. So start there. What do I believe about myself? What kind of words do I use when I speak about myself? What are the emotions and feelings that come up when I think about or speak about myself? When I say, so at one point, I don't remember when it was, 2011-ish, I was so depressed and so blah that my weight went up to 305-ish. Last time I checked, it was 305, and I was like, I'm not getting on a scale anymore. Went to the doctor because I was having chest pains. The doctor told me to, step on the scale because that's what they make you do. They make you undress. They put on their little spelunking hat, put on the light, tell you to bend over, and I don't know what you're doing, but that's what they do. And somewhere in there, they're like, step on the scale. And I'm like, don't tell me. And she was like, oh my. I'm like, oh. I mentioned that because what I was saying about myself, and you're just, no one's ever gonna love you. Look at you, and I don't know why I sound like Henrietta Pussycat right now, but that's fine. Meow, 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 meow. It was all self-hatred in one way, shape, or form. And I said, you know what? This ain't working. I don't like the song. Take the needle off. Get a different record. Because I'm of the era of records. Oh, yeah, I like this one. Yes. Okay, and then changes happened. What do you think about yourself, say about yourself, feel about yourself, and how do you treat yourself? What are the actions and activities that are demonstrating this is what I believe about me? This is what I believe that God is as me. And what I believe that God is as me, I also believe that God as you. And you. And you. God as you. And you. And you. Because if God is all there is, then it's everything. Yeah. So when go to the store and the cashier gives you money, do you crumple and stuff? Or do you receive and acknowledge? Because for a long time I was a crumpler and stuffler. And this sounds like a Dr. Seuss book. I was a crumpler and stuffler in the land of Whoville. And I crumpled and stuffed. And then someone said one time, Ray, that's God. The manner in which you are treating God. And I was like, oh, thank you. So, receiving the money, thank you. Eye contact, gratitude. Put it in the wallet or put it in the coin purse thing. Don't judge me. Put it in the coin thing and, do what you do. But it's receiving. Am I able to receive and recognize? No matter what it is. What evidence, what substance am I deeply committed to recognizing and bringing forth? Because the vision of CSL is a world that works for all. That is never going to happen if we continue to anthropomorphize God, separation, because separation, even within ourselves, makes it easier for me to separate here. And that separation from here makes it easier for me to, you ate the last piece of strawberry shortcake. And then that anger turns into, I can't stand Deb. I can't stand Deb. And that festers and resentment builds. And that resentment starts, oh, I think it's an ulcer. Oh, Nope, it's diarrhea. Right? Like whatever it is, that's what then happens. There's a physical effect that happens because there's a mind-body thing. That's what shows up. No matter who it is. So part of the practice is, do I love myself so much that I can love you so much? That you can love you so much. And then you start loving everyone else as well. Not just me, everyone else. And loving does not mean I accept the heinous stuff you're doing. It doesn't mean I say, hello, Mr. Hitler, you're God, I love you, let's go have tea. It means I recognize you are a human being as I am. You are a divine creation as I am. But you are using the mind of law in action to hurt, harm, and destroy. I am praying for you, with you, whatever that is. I will converse with you. I will do whatever it is that I need to do, not in your presence, because I cannot be in the same space. But I know that wherever I go, God is. And in that space, I will do whatever it is I need to do to reconcile what I feel regarding you. But I do acknowledge you are God. I do acknowledge you are human. And I pray that you recognize that one day as well. How do we get there? It starts with us. Do you have faith in yourself? Do you have faith in your ability to live the life you want to live? Do you have the faith of you as a divine expression of God to live, move, and have your beingness as joy made flesh, love personified, and that every step you take, the ground shines with orgasmic bliss simply because you are alive?
Yes!
And so it is.
That's so